Hello, you might be thinking, who's this gentleman on my screen? Do I know him? Have I seen him before? And why is he on my screen? Well, let me tell you. I'm Martijn. If you attend events of 40k nature in the UK, you might have seen me. I do attend quite a lot of them. If not, you might not know me. Uh, I'm, I like to say I'm a friend of Mikey's, and I'm here to tell you about an idea I've had, namely a Teams event run by Hellstorm Wargaming. And I've made a presentation because Mikey is not quite sold or convinced on the idea of it. So I've made a little presentation to, I don't know, how do I say it, convince Mikey of why you should run the event. And I want to take you with me on this journey of this presentation. And maybe together we can convince Mikey that this event should happen. So, here we go. Hellstorm All-Stars Constellation. My presentation on why MG Herbert should run a Teams event. Hellstorm All-Stars Constellation. We're keeping the Hellstorm, we're keeping the All-Stars brand. Constellation because it's a group of stars together. This name was run by a focus group and it, amongst a few other ideas, and this came out from the focus group as the most successful one. So, what will I talk about today? We are going to talk about the concept. What is this Teams event? We're going to talk about the format of it. We're going to talk about where we want to have this event. I've made a little SWOT analysis where we can see our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities, our threats. And I've made a benchmark, tiny little one, and then I have some quotes and thoughts from the community on this idea. Little dramatic pause there. Let's go and dive in. The concept. What is a Teams event? A Teams event is where you, with a group of friends, go and play Warhammer for 3 hours for one round, 3 hours for another round, 3 hours for another round, and at the end of each round, not only your score counts, but all the scores from your friends who you, together as a team, came with. Which means that if you lose very badly, but your best mate is winning very well, those level each other out. So you win together, you lose together, and even if a single person on the team, or maybe even two people on the team, drop the ball and lose, you as a team, as a group of friends, can still win and have a good result. So it's all about friends, team building, enjoying the game together. This particular event we're talking about will be a 5-man Teams event. Why 5-man? Because I think it's easy enough to find 4 people that want to come with you to play Warhammer for a weekend, but it's also the break point where I think that the pairing process of which player plays against which player for each team comes into its own. At smaller events, the pairing process is not as finessed. If you go for 4-man or 3-man teams, and it's just with 5-man teams or more, there's a little bit more thinking process involved, which adds another mini game onto its own. However, 8-man Teams events are the international standard. However, it's quite hard to find 7 friends to come along for an entire weekend. We want to run this event, well, I want to run this event at 2,000 points competitive play. I think that's the general standard. And my vision was to have 12 5-man teams, which means we'll have 6 rows of 5 tables with varying terrain. Teams events always have varying terrain. You will have a light table, you have medium tables, you'll have a heavy table. However, Hellstorm Wargaming and the All-Stars brand are known for their concept of having different types of terrain, different sets of terrain even, on each table. What better way to showcase this in a Teams event? Don't worry, Declan, player placed will not be part of this, because that would just be bad. I heard you thinking there. This will be a 2-day event. So you can play 5 different teams meet potentially 25 new people instead of just 5 people, because you meet 5 new teams, make friends, drink beers with your mates, have a jolly time. Lunch will be included at this event. I think that if you go to a Warhammer event, lunch should always be part of the event. I will make it so. Mikey doesn't know this yet, but we will make Hellstorm Wargaming unique pairing cards for the players to use in the pairing process. They'll have Hellstorm Wargaming branding on the one side, the other side will show the army faction, and that way you can pair the armies against each other before the round starts. I've mentioned this now a few times, the pairing process. I will make another video at a future time how the pairing process works to clarify it, but that's a bit much in just presenting the idea. But this will be part of it. This will be a premier team event, unique in the country. What do I mean with that? I mean that this event will have a great location. There won't be sound bouncing off the 10-foot ceiling, which makes you take aspirin in the first deployment zone because of the headache. There won't be a smell of chlorine because there's no swimming pool right next door. We won't be dodging dodgeballs. We'll have a nice... you won't need yoga mats under your feet because your back will hurt otherwise. The tables will not be at knee height, so your back won't hurt after the first movement phase. This will be a premier team event. We will set the standard, what Hellstorm All-Stars is known for, and maybe even raise it. At the Outpost. That's where this event will be held. Right in Sheffield, at the Outpost, home of Hellstorm Wargaming. Let's go. Our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities and our threats. Our strengths. I think this event will be unique, as I've just explained. Everyone who's ever attended a team event loves it. I haven't heard anyone ever at any team event say that they hated the concept of the team event. They might have hated the event itself, but team events itself, everyone loves it. Hellstorm Wargaming. If you're watching this, you know about it. But no, do you know Mikey runs events? Have you been to any of his events? He's been running events for a few years now, but not everyone knows about his events yet. More people need to know that Mikey is a great TO. This is another way to promote that. And the Outpost just relocated. Great way to promote that as well. Our weaknesses. I want to run this event in June. I want to run it in the weekend of the 20th of June. That's a busy month to be a 40k gamer. There's lots of events happening in June. Warhammer related, non-Warhammer related, gaming related. There's loads of events in June. June's always a busy month. However, it's before the summer holiday starts, so you won't be busy with the kids yet. And I think there is a gap in the calendar for 40k events for us to host this event in that weekend. So I think we should do it. Our opportunities. We have the potential for a new player base to reach them, grab them and make them come to the event. What do I mean with this? There's a lot of people who are afraid of going to tournaments, but they love to play at their gaming club with their friends. And now all of a sudden they can bring their friends along and have a more casual like team event to go to, which might spark the fire that makes them a tournament player and makes them attend All-Stars, makes them go to a GT every weekend, makes them want to come back for a team event every year because it's just great fun. We have the opportunity to set a standard for teams events in the UK going forward. There are some team events in the UK, not that many that I could find. And to be honest, I believe that Mikey and the Hellstorm Wargaming team, we can set a higher standard for those. We can raise the bar. We can introduce people to the best way to play 40k, which is teams. Ask anyone. Teams events are more enjoyable, more fun, more challenging maybe even. than singles GTs. So why not? And the threat, we might not sell out the event, which I doubt. I think we will. But of course there's always an opportunity that we won't. But I think we will. Our benchmark. Which other 40k team events are there in the UK? Well, we have the Northern Warlords. They run 2 events a year. They run 4-man teams, which is smaller than we are. We have 5-man teams. They run them at Element Games, which was a great venue, maybe 8 years ago. Needs a refurb now. They run one in January. They had one 2 weeks ago, and they will be running one in the weekend of the 20th of June. But, Martin, you want to run your event in the 20th of June as well? Yes. I do. And it's not because I don't like Northern Warlords. I actually love the guys from Northern Warlords, but this will be a different event. And I think that that's a great weekend to have it. The UKTC, they run 2 events a year. Everybody knows UKTC in the UK. Outside the UK, most people know it as well. They run 2 team events a year. They run 5-man teams events. They only use the UKTC terrain, but they have different layouts for their events. They're always in the venues that you know UKTC for. They have one in fall, I believe it's late October, early November. And they have one coming weekend. Then the Home Nations and Battle of Britain are both invite only, which are only for National World Team Championship players or prospects of World Team Championship teams. So you might not ever have heard of those events, because maybe you're not interested in super competitive national 40k team play, which is fine. Those events are being run. They're 8-man teams events, but they're hard to get into. You have to be among the top 12 players in the country to even be considered to be able to go there. Team Scotland, they run Clan Wars. They do it once per year. They do it at the beginning of December mostly. It's a 5-man teams event. It's a great event. I go there every year, even though beginning of December is not always the greatest time, but I go there every year. I always enjoy it, mostly because of the team events, not because of the place where it's held, because I'm very sorry, Peter, but Bathgate is a shithole. Do you know of any other team events? Because I looked and I couldn't find any, which means there's a massive gap. There's no events being held in spring. There's only one in the summer. We have a massive opportunity here to create a culture of team play. Groups of friends, gaming clubs, grabbing a car together, driving down for a weekend of fun with your friends, and attending these team events. What makes us different to the guys that I just mentioned? We have a very invested TO. Mikey is personally invested in all of his events, which shows in everything. But I'm invested in this team event as well. I want to co-run this with Mikey. Use my experience in attending team events to make this the best success it can be. Our concept, as already explained, will be unique to other team events. UKTC is also 5-man teams. They don't provide lunch. They don't have gaming tables that are waist height or higher. They only have the UKTC terrain. They don't have WTC terrain on there. Yeah. Premier venue. Same. 9 decent height tables. No need for a yoga mat under your feet to not kill your back. It's gonna be great. Some thoughts from the community. I've pitched this idea to a few people over phone calls, over Discord chats, DMs. And I've grabbed a few snippets, maybe with their permission, maybe without their permission, of what they said. And I want to share those with you. Great idea, you should do it. By Ginger Steve. He also said I should get a hobby. I will. here we are. I like the idea. And he also said, I love the name. Peter, Mercenary Q. Love you, bro. Great idea. I'll come. Teams events sell out super quickly. You heard that, Mikey? They sell out quickly. By Alex Fowler. WCW player with a better record than 116. And Warhammer Wonder Kid, member of Trash Wargaming, has already said, I will bring at least one Trash Wargaming team along with me. That's already one team filled, Mikey. Only 11 more to go. Sounds like a great plan, Jamartin. Nick, Hellstorm handyman. If you don't run it, I might try it with my club at Prestige, said Ryan. Yeah, thanks Ryan. So, thank you for listening to my TED Talk. I hope I've convinced you that we should attend the team, that you should attend Hellstorm All-Stars Constellation, and that it should be held in the weekend of the 20th and 21st of June. No matter what other events are happening in June, because team events are a different thing. They don't compare to GTs, they don't compare to super majors, they're their own thing. And you get different people going there, it will be great fun, we'll have a great weekend, and I hope to see you there.